Hi, I'm Leslie Kino. And I'm Lee Kino. Welcome to another episode of Find. Now today, Alexa and I take a look at a home in Marin County that gives a Baroque twist to California living. But first, Leslie and I visit a woman who's been the caretaker of a landmark California house for more than 30 years. Now she's curious about some of the pieces she inherited with the house. This whole place. Wow. Oh, look at that. It's an historic landmark house, 1891. Yeah, this ought to be interesting. Hi.
Hi.
You must be Pat.
I'm Patricia.
Patricia,
Pat.
Leslie Kino.
Thank you. Very nice to meet you
Thanks for
both.
having us. What a beautiful entranceway.
Thank you.
Wow.
It is a special house.
Original paint?
It's all original. Everything that you see is original. The light fixture, all of it.
What's the story?
It's one of the fortunate ones that have survived the earthquakes through the years.
Yes. What's the history?
It was built in 1891 by Major Frank McLaughlin, who was a partner of Thomas Edison.
Oh, okay.
And he lived here until 1907, and then it passed through a number of hands, and I bought it in 1967.
Okay.
And I've owned it 37 years, and
good care of it.
been trying to take care of it all these years. And would you like for me to start to show you the tour?
That'd be great.
We'd love it. Okay. And this is the ballroom, which is
Quite a
now
room.
being used as a bedroom. But this was where many notable parties were held that have been documented in history. Mrs. Winchester, Spreckles, Flood, all these people, Sutros, they were all friends of Mr. McLaughlin.
So they had a lot of fun in this room.
Yeah.
Yes,
These walls
he
could
loved
talk.
to entertain. And this painting I inherited with the house. It was done by Takahashi, who was a rare Japanese artist in San Francisco.
Okay.
And I don't know really anything about it other than I know the name is documented in the history books of painting of the era. And then we go from there, because now you tell me, because I really don't know.
As far as provenance, that's just wonderful and very exciting that it was made at the same time as the house. And it's always been here in the house. We've done a little bit of research on Takahashi. There's not a lot known on him. This one's dated 1891. This particular scene with these luscious yellow roses and the size of this scene and the quality of the painting and the condition, it's probably worth in the range of around $5,000, maybe $6,000. Only a few have come up at auction, so he's an emerging artist. So recently, the scene of Grapes sold at auction for about $11,000. So I would just hold on to it.
Well, I wanted to stay with the house.
This sofa, it's not, sorry to interrupt, this sofa, I'm looking at it. Where'd you get this?
Well, I bought that at auction locally.
Okay. What'd you pay?
And I paid $250 for it.
$250.
It was in
Not
very
bad.
shabby shape.
Not
shape,
bad, not
but
bad.
I thought it was very beautiful.
Well, it is
And,
beautiful. It is a classic example of Renaissance revival with this inlaid musical trophy here with this carved leafage, and it's walnut with nice ebonizing.
Original
and
ebonizing.
Looks like possibly original ebonizing. You're right. And as you come down, you have a nice scrolled handhold, and then down here to these these Renaissance revival feet. Missing its casters. Where are those?
Right, they were missing, and so I happened to inherit one with it.
Got it.
And so we've ordered reproductions
to match the other
to
one.
match the
And that's
piece.
going to make it look better.
And bring it up the height. Yeah, it's way too low.
Add 3 inches. Got
Right.
it. It's probably worth easily about $1,000. You did well.
Thank you. And this is the gold parlor, the most formal room in the house, and it is all original. And this light fixture is especially beautiful.
Quite a chandelier.
It's gas and electricity.
So here's where they turned on the gas and converted it to electricity later. Isn't that neat?
Right.
Wow. All original. And that fireplace surrounding mantel, it's typical, isn't it, of the late 19th century, where they're mixing some neoclassical, these swags with with Romanesque, right? With it's sort of Renaissance revival.
Renaissance revival, right. And what is this?
Onyx.
Is that onyx? That is, wow, that is nice. All original.
And look at that. Is that a fire screen, Lee? It looks like one, but you know something? What, Patricia, is this one of those?
No, it's a dressing screen.
A dressing screen.
Yes.
Okay, so ladies would get behind it,
Ladies
right?
stood behind to get dressed.
Now, if you were too tall, you were in trouble.
Yes.
Right? If you were teeny. You needed to be a little shorter.
They were little in those days.
Okay, well, they were covered then. This is nice chinoiserie decoration on the tinware and lovely cast iron down here.
Like
this
1880?
1880 is probably worth about $1,200 or $1,500. A nice thing.
Very nice.
Patricia, I'm looking here at the most gorgeous, gorgeous woman. This photograph, is this you?
This is me
Young
when I was
woman?
around 28 years
28
old.
years old. You must have just had the men chasing you down the street.
Well,
I mean, beautiful.
I guess the most notable thing happened to me around that era is that I was fortunate to meet Howard Hughes in Lake Tahoe.
Howard Hughes. Okay.
And I went to dinner with him. He was the richest man in the world at the time.
Wow.
And
What was that like to be at dinner with him?
Well, his aide came over to me, and he was looking for a Harlow, a Jean Harlow, and he thought at that time I resembled her.
You did?
Other than that I didn't have the blonde white hair.
Okay.
But that's how what drew him to me.
I see.
And so we went to dinner, and it was interesting. And,
Who paid for dinner?
The aide.
The
He
aide?
was noted for never carrying any money on him. He'd keep about 50 cents in his pocket. Yeah. Now I'd like to show you one of my greatest treasures.
Okay.
I have it in this vault, which is original to the house.
That's
Quite a
wonderful.
vault.
Okay. See some dishes in there.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a dish.
It's a piece of jewelry, very
Okay.
wonderful piece. Thank you.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
It looks like an old box, too.
It's the original box.
The original leather box, okay.
Oh, look at
Wow,
that.
that is beautiful.
Gorgeous.
That is gorgeous. What's the story? Where did you find this?
Well, I've owned it since 1976.
Okay.
And I had seen it at a show.
An antique show or
antique
okay.
show in Hillsborough.
Okay.
And it was reputed to have belonged to Elsie DeWolf, famous interior designer
Yes.
of all time.
America's first.
America's interior
And
designer.
at that moment in time, and I'm an interior designer, I didn't realize, I knew she was famous, but I
Right.
didn't know how famous.
Yes.
Okay.
So what did you pay? May we ask?
$6,000.
If you don't, how much?
$6,000.
$6,000. Now, Lee and I are not jewelry experts, but we know someone who is. And actually, if you don't mind, we're going to have him come over in a few minutes. Is that okay?
Oh, I'd love
You
that.
should show up soon, right?
And he should be here soon. And have him take a look.
That would be wonderful.
Now, Peter Shermansky has had a few minutes to look at Patricia's necklace. Now, Peter, you're a noted expert in jewelry. What do you think about it?
Well, this is a wonderful necklace. It's a great example of opal from Australia, natural pearls and gold. The piece is English, and I would date this in circa 1900. It is composed of scroll motifs, which I like, which is very indicative of the Art Nouveau period. And then you've got this draped motif around the front, which we call a festoon, which is also typical of that period. But what I like most also is here on the back, the clasp, which is typical English arts and crafts. So you have an overlay of three styles from the 1900s creating this wonderful necklace.
Now, this is such a beautiful piece and so elegant. Is there value added here, monetary value, because somebody would buy this to wear it?
Certainly. Style is very important when it comes to jewelry, and right now this type of a motif is very fashionable, and opals are always very popular. And in particular, what's unique about these, because they are Australian opals, is that when you shine a light on them, you get to see this really remarkable flash of red in the stone.
like
And
it's
this is
glowing.
typical only of the Australian material.
Wow.
The center one's the most, is the strongest color, isn't it?
They picked that for the middle, right?
Peter, in terms of value, what are we talking about here? What should we tell Patricia? We need to tell Patricia.
Well, I would say, it is unique, and to replace it would be very difficult. So I would say an insurance value on this would be somewhere in the perhaps $60,000 to $80,000 range.
Okay. We'll give her the news.
Alrighty.
Well, Patricia, we showed your beautiful necklace to our jewelry expert, and he loved it. He thought it was very elegant, very stylish. He loved these Australian opals and the color of them, the beautiful color, especially the center drop and the central stone. Interestingly, he particularly liked the hasp on this. He thought it was very beautiful in the arts and crafts movement. Now, because of all those things, he placed an insurance value on the necklace at $60,000 to $80,000 on the high end to insure it at.
It's not bad for something you paid what, 6,000 you said?
6,000.
Okay.
Well, now, but the thing we have to point out is that, you know, with provenance is so important, and Elsie de Wolfe, of course, was America's first great interior designer, really the first interior designer. She also marched for women's rights. You know that?
No, I didn't
down
know that.
Fifth Avenue. She was friends with all the luminaries from Hollywood. She did their apartments. I mean, this was a jet setter of the time. So the provenance is really getting added the value. So what I'm saying is that even though it's $80,000 for insurance, that provenance really can go upward, add to the value, right, Les?
Absolutely.
I mean, absolutely.
Fascinating.
And you're a jewel of a lady, and you kind of let us into your
Oh,
home.
well, it's my privilege.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much
for
for
having us in
coming.
your home.
It's just wonderful.